flies. It's been a while since we met, so would you all please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? And is it my turn? Yes, I believe it is my turn. All right. On three. 1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty, Mary, could we please have roll call?
Mayor Pro Tem De Silva,
Present.
Councilmember Scott Pond,
Present.
Councilmember Lorraine Worthy,
Present.
Councilmember Mario Rosas.
Present.
Mayor Jose Rios.
Present. And I'd like to start this meeting on a somber note, only from the aspect that, as I mentioned to you all before, I have a number of relatives that are still in law enforcement. And this past weekend, we lost 4 individuals to, unfortunately, their job. 3 by no fault of their own, just something that wasn't supposed to happen, did happen. 3 LA County sheriffs died in the bomb explosion, and they were bomb experts. And then Oakland, probation officer also lost his life. I've had my blue flag out there because as much as all the other lives matter, I believe blue is the one I want to stand up for. So if you'll all join me for just a moment of silence. Thank you. And we pray for all those families that are currently grieving. All right, moving on. We have a presentation on our community center update. Mr. Dobbins, is that yours or is the consultant?
Yeah, we're gonna have Luis
Luis,
and
okay.
Kim are gonna take it away and go through the slideshow.
All right.
All right. Good evening, Mayor Rios, City Council members. So again, I'm Luis Flores, Construction Manager working on the Community Center project. Joining me is Kim Sison, Autos Project Executive on the project. And we're going to provide you with the current status of the project and really just highlight activities that have taken place over the last couple months since we last came to this council meeting. So brief overview of our agenda. Again, we'll give you a highlight on where we are with project milestones. We'll give you a progress update on schedule. And then we're gonna spend some time on this presentation to highlight the project team to really give you a better picture of all of the different team members, consultants, contractors, design consultants that have been involved on the project, including local workforce. And then we'll conclude with an update on some post-construction programming initiatives that have taken place by the city, and then go over any questions at the end. So milestones completed to date. Really the main update since we last came to the council meeting back in May is the 5th Street repaving has been completed. And so as you've all very well aware, that occurred last month. And so we appreciate everybody's flexibility and understanding during that time. I hope you're all happy with the end product. And right now we're working through planning the final striping at 5th Street that'll take place in the next few weeks. Let's see, we'll start off with site improvements. Irrigation installations underway, site concrete is underway. Our MSB pad, which is our main switchgear pad, has been placed and it's currently on a 28-day curing cycle. And then we have additional concrete planters at the courtyard that are now placed. And as I mentioned before, the paving at 5th Street is now complete. And we've also relocated the crosswalk ramp. So as I don't know if you're aware or not, but the crosswalk, the location where it was at before, we're shifting it slightly east. And so that's been done now. And in this photo, you can see the new curb ramp location. And then here are some progress photos again of some of the site work that has taken place. So starting from the left and moving clockwise, we have grinding and demo, subgrade prep, and then paving operations, and then the final paving of 5th Street on the bottom right. On the exterior of the building, the EFIS finishing system is now complete, and so EFIS is exterior. It's an acronym that stands for Exterior Insulated Finishing System, and it's a plaster-like system similar to stucco. And you'll see it on some of the progress photos, and I'm sure as you've driven by the site, you've seen that the plaster work is now completed. And then we have some ceramic tile work going on inside the bathrooms. That's pretty much completed at all interior restrooms and exterior restroom alcoves. And then the doors are now installed at all exterior locations, both the storefront ones and the hollow metal doors. On the left, you can see an image of some of the ceramic tile in the restroom alcoves. These are some restrooms directly outside on the west side of the building that can be accessed from the courtyard. And then the middle section shows you a better picture of the EFIS finish coat, the white and the yellow that you see on the image. And then on the right-hand side is an exterior louver above the library, and that's part of the heating and ventilation system designed for the project to control air inside the building. And then lastly, on the interior of the building, we have T-bar ceiling that's been completed. The electrical, mechanical, and plumbing finishing work is underway. We got low voltage cabling being installed as well for all of the IT aspects of the project. And then acoustical ceiling baffles at the Teen Innovation Center, at the lounge, and at the library. Those are all underway. And you'll see a couple photos on the next slide. Again, there's some captions at the bottom of the photos, but you can see some electrical work going on, plumbing finishes. The top right-hand photo is really depicting the acoustical panels at the teen center. And so these are acoustical panels at the underside of the roof deck. So the ceiling in that space is going to be exposed. And so those acoustical baffles will help dampen and reduce noise transfer in that room. And then, top left photos, you can see some of the painting that's happened over the last couple of weeks at the teen lounge and at the library. And then I believe this is the time lapse video. Oh yeah, so I think that'll be accessed from the Google slide there. So this is a condensed video again, just to kind of show some of the activities over the last couple of months. Obviously, there's not a lot that you can see inside the building from this perspective, but mainly concrete work around the building on the east elevation and on the northwest corner outside of the utility rooms. And then again, the progress work inside that you saw on the images on the previous slides. And with that, Kim will give us an update on some of the overall schedule and upcoming milestones and an update on our switchgear.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. So I get to talk about the fun stuff, the schedule. So as Luis mentioned earlier, we were able to complete the Fifth Street paving. The operation went really smoothly. So we just want to thank, everybody around the city for allowing us to maneuver through that without incident. Some of our really nice upcoming milestones is exactly what everybody loves to see, and it's substantial completion. So moving into landscape substantial completion, early September, followed by permanent power by the end of October, and then overall substantial completion by mid-November. So very exciting over the next few months. Bless you. Some potential challenges and risks that we've kind of been reporting over the last few months is our main switchgear, and we are happy to report that we have received it. We are about a little ahead of what we were anticipating, so that's also very exciting. And then just getting that PG&E permanent power in. So we really want to take some time and really highlight the design and construction team. When we came into this project, part of the RFQ process was that we would really highlight and try and utilize as much local workforce as we could. And that involves, going out to everybody, local and non-local, but really making sure that the subcontractors and the consultants that we decide to work with are highly skilled and able to do the job. So we've highlighted our client team, which is, of course, you folks with the City of Gonzales, working directly with Harrison Associates as our construction manager, your representative, and then our design build entity, which is ourselves, Auto Construction, along with WRNS, our architectural firm. So we kind of highlighted all of the logos for everybody, and then drew an orange box around everybody who is local, who has an office here within Monterey County. So you can see there's quite a few of us here. Harris, ourselves, Auto, we're working with One Workplace and BFS. So our design build partners, which is our engineering consultants, are listed Sandus, Thornton, One Workplace, and BFS. And then our subcontract partners who provide not only the engineering services, but also provide workforce on the subcontractor side. So they actually install the work. We're able to utilize some local workforce there as well. So we always say it takes a village to finish a project. So as of late, we have 27 subcontractors. So that's 27 different companies that have been on the job site and contributed in some way. So framing, flooring, glazing, masonry, millwork. In addition to that, we have 10 vendors, so they wouldn't necessarily provide labor services, but we are getting materials from them. And then we have 3 different inspection entities. So when we add everybody up, because we do account for every single person who steps foot on the job site, they, which I'm sure you all have enjoyed our wonderful safety orientation video. We are currently at 400 plus contributors, which is an amazing amount of people. And we also just kind of want to extend our gratitude for everyone being safe on the job site, because we've had 0 incidents, 0 close calls. So we do appreciate that. And again, we really want to say, we took a very conscious effort in making sure that we reached out to a lot of local subcontractors. Being local ourselves, I really think that kind of gave us the opportunity to reach out to people we work with all the time. A lot of these companies I personally have worked with for 15, 20 years. So they've been established in the community, but over 25% of the subcontractors and vendors that have worked on this project are local to the Monterey County. And that's just a great way to keep the jobs local and the money local. 47% of the total construction cost to build the building has come from local workforce as well. So we've put up some of our larger contributors. So FM Booth, Collins, Pitania, Angie Pumping, Monterey Signs, Gray Break, Whitson, Sela Painting, and Brady West are some of our larger contributors that have helped make up, a really large local workforce on a community center, which is really great.
And to conclude our presentation, again, we'll give you an overview of some of the initiatives that the city has taken specifically for programming activities at the center after construction is completed. And so working together with Carmen, we've hosted a couple different nonprofits and other local organizations at the project to begin those conversations, and those are reflected on the slides. We have Blanket Arts out of Seaside, Gonzales Unified School District. We've met with Superintendent Joey Adame to start some of those conversations of, post-construction opportunities for Gonzales Unified School District at the Teen Innovation Center. And then the Boys and Girls Club of Monterey County. We've had a meeting already on site with some of the staff members from there, and then we have another one coming up with Ron Johnson, their CEO, to give them a tour of the site, and again, just continue those conversations as far as opportunities that will be offered on the center once it's open to the public. And with that, we'll turn it over to you for any questions or comments on the project.
Council? Anybody with questions or concerns?
Yeah, my question. Yeah, thank you for the update.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes. All right, moving on the agenda.
thank you.
Thank you.
This is the public comment period. Any member of the public may address the council for a period not to exceed 2 minutes. Council will listen to all communications, but will take no action and make no comments. The podium is yours.
All right, Henry Martinez Jr., you guys all know well what happened on the 4th of July. 4 million views, 46,000 comments, and 72,000 shares. This had made news across the country when it happened. I had nothing to do with what happened at my house. That came to my house's attention. It came into my yard. I asked the officers to take it out to the street because we were having our event. I had kids, I had neighbors, I had everybody out there. This is what, the third, fourth time that an autistic kid had an issue and officers got involved? This is crazy. I was filming the whole thing because it happened to be in my yard because I knew the police department was going to do something. And sure enough, they arrested me for supposedly violating probation. I do not have probation. This is crazy. I was out within hours because the people paid for it. This has to stop. How many officers have been beat this year in a matter of a year? 4 now? 5? How many times have guns been pulled out on people? Plenty of times. Kids had guns pointed at them at this event. This has to stop because eventually someone is going to get shot, whether it be police, whether it be people, whether it be kids. It's got to stop. I'm getting death threats. Your guys' own former mayor, Matt Gurley, went on their Facebook and says that we should be shot. So now either that's an attack from the Rotary or from the city, but he clearly went on there and we have it, but they're not going to do nothing about it. They were not going to investigate it. They're not going to go arrest him. But no, I have the pictures of it. This has got to stop.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
April Martinez. What happened on the 4th of July got out of hand really quick with the police department. We were trying to de-escalate the situation with the cops that came over. We told them let the kid calm down. He's autistic, and they kept pushing and pushing and pushing the issue with him. He asked the officer not to touch him. He kept touching him. So this whole incident should have not happened if they've been trained right. My husband should never got arrested. He wasn't doing nothing. He didn't touch none of the officers. He wasn't getting in the way. He was helping one of your officers by getting the kid off of him. We were trying to help your officers. Your cops come in, guns blazing in my house, my yard, guns out, not tasers, guns. My nephew's there, my kids are there, my families are there, neighbors are there. What are we telling our city? Cops can do whatever they want, not be held accountable? Henry's right, this has to stop. All these officers need to be held accountable. They need to be trained properly and actually do their jobs right and not overstep their authority. Because cops are not above the law. They could be arrested too, but some should be. but you guys have to do something about this because who's gonna get shot? A little kid? An autistic person? They need to be trained. Then do something about this, please. This is gonna happen.
Hello, today I wanted to discuss about the incident. Sorry, let me redo that again. My name is Arturo Uribe, and today I wanted to discuss about the incident that happened at July 4th at the Martinez block party. I went to this block party expecting to have a great time at this party. So police arrived trying to give a citation to a minor without a helmet. So the situation escalated and got to a fight. And a fight began. I tried to help the police get this minor off of them. And what they gave to return was one thank you from one officer and a taser pointed at me. I automatically put my hands up and the police left took to arrest. What I have told you today is something that I can be handled differently from both the Martinez family and Gonzalez Police Department. Thank you for letting me say this today.
Thank you.
Andrew Martinez, 112 10th Street. We were having a great time and here comes the kid in question pushing a little mini bike or something, or pocket bike, pushing into the yard. Once he got into the yard, Castillo over here rushes in, blazing with sirens or just rushing in, parking his car real fast on our driveway to catch the kid. And next thing you know, he keeps aggressing, yelling at him, trying to grab him, trying to trick to him that he's gonna give him a ticket, but trying to grab him to handcuff him. And then it escalated to over there. So I got in the way of the rookie and blocked him from that kid, because that kid almost took that rookie down to the ground. So the whole family, including my son, rescued the cop. And do I get a thank you? No. Do we get a thank you? No. I get a gun pointed at me. Perez points the gun at me and asks the rookie that got beat up. And he said clearly, "That Martinez hit you?" And the rookie says, "No, he was helping." And then he put his gun back in his holster. That's the thanks you get for helping? Oh, wow. We should have just stand by and let the kid have fun. But also, I was trying to follow the officers to keep an eye on my son, and they were punching him when they were taking him out of the yard. I was blocked with Perez with the gun pointed at me. And he says, "You're not going any further from here." And I says, "Yeah, I have to keep an eye on my kid." They punched him.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Henry Martinez III, I'm furious right now after what you guys did. I'm sick and tired of it. You officers beat up my dad, and I went to jail just to save him from his back getting more injured. And none of you guys have did it well at all. So I had to de-escalate to save my dad. And I am lucky that I said my own mother. She almost got shot. And I even said as well by the same officer, Perez. I am done. I didn't came back here for nothing. I wanted to spend time with my family equally. But no. You guys are picking on us for no reason. Sorry for my anger, but I don't do. I'm sick and tired of it. And yes, that seems funny. It ain't funny. I have my lawyer defending me right now, not going back to jail. And so it's my dad. I had to save my own dad and risk my life. No, I can't even get jobs no more because of that. All the charges they put on it sticks to my record. I can't get no more jobs because of that. And I was supposed to go to the military, but now I can't. So now I'm furious that you arrested my friend. They also beat up. And I witnessed everything. People all around the world did. They say, they see me tackling my mom to save, not getting shot. And I got officers for arrest pointing a gun at me while I'm tackling down my mom. And my grandpa, my whole family, including my friends. They were all there watching. If it wasn't for them, I would have no video evidence.
Is there anyone else? Okay, I just saw that movement.
Yeah, Roman Barber. I wasn't there at that, but I know one thing. The police department went onto the Martinez's property. So chasing a kid or whatever. Another thing I don't agree with is what Mark Gordy is posting, that everybody there should have been shot, right? That is crazy. I'm surprised that the police department hasn't charged him, because you heard him. You had artistic kids there, right? That's what you had there. A lot of kids don't know what's going on and they're not mentally all there. So things were gonna go wrong. That's pretty bad. Our police department needs training and health issues and stuff. I'm coming over here because I noticed that Farmers Market, the alley there, you have the business there, the old Allen's hardware store. They keep parking trucks in the alley and they put pallets out there. So semis used to go in there and deliver to Farmers Market. But the other day, we have a rental on 247 Baldwin Street, right behind Farmers. We have 2 semis parked on Baldwin. We have 2 semis parked on 4th Street, blocking our rentals property where our renters can't get out, go to work. Their driveway's blocked. The cars that they have in the front are blocked in. So I think I came before to the city council that we have an issue back a couple of years ago, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But now it's getting even crazy because that company there's always trucks parked in the alley, so the semis can't deliver. So I think that alley needs to be cleared out. You can tell that business not to be putting their forklift out there and their pallets out there and having trucks parking in the alley there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barlow. One more, okay.
Hi, Rosa Rodriguez, 307 Ayrshire Way. Normally, I don't come unless it's important because sometimes things are heard and sometimes things are not. So the reason I'm here, my husband also mentioned that there's a water leakage on Harold Parkway. There's, I guess, the irrigation system is leaking a lot of water. So he just wanted me to mention that. The other thing that I wanted to mention is I was looking through the agenda and a lot of the documents. And I saw the Boys and Girls Club being invited, possibly for the community center. And thanks to the special K committee that Ms. Lorraine Worthy, is on, I used to be on the Padres Especiales Unidos. And that was helped by the Gonzales Unified School District and Special Kids Connect to be able to help parents of parents, guardians, foster parents, community members who wanted to know more about children or students that had different types of abilities. I really don't like to use the word disability other than the word challenges. And so I became a member of that group. And I asked them if it was possible, if also they could reach out to Special Kids Connect to see if they could be in partnership as kind of like the Boys and Girls Club. And they mentioned that would be something that would be run through Ms. Gil and also, of course, the council. So I would really like that partnership. Jose Hernandez has been nothing but wonderful, to the community, especially Greenfield. They work so, good with Greenfield, and I would really like them to work here too. And you heard what happened, and I don't know the details and whatnot, but of course, extra training and education, it's always better. And I just have to say, I used to work for a school district and I was an interpreter, and I work with kids with challenges, and they're the best kids ever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No, nobody rushes the podium. All right, is it Stella or Marisol? Sorry, you said Stella or Marisol?
Marisol.
Marisol. Marisol, do we have anybody via Zoom?
Yes, we have 2 people.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name is Pepper Osmilligan. Good evening, everybody. I was here today to speak about an injustice that occurred on what should have been a day of celebration, the 4th of July. A holiday meant to represent freedom and unity, yet for the Martinez family, it turned into a traumatic reminder that those ideals aren't extended equally. The Martinez family opened their home and hearts to the community, hosting a peaceful, family-friendly event. Teenagers were riding e-bikes under adult supervision, children were playing, and neighbors were gathering in joy. But while families were celebrating, Gonzales Police Department were watching, not to protect, but it seemed to provoke. When officers approached a teenage boy on the property, he immediately told them he was autistic and uncomfortable with being touched. He repeated this. Still, they yelled, got in his face, and continued to lay hands on him. His reaction, completely predictable given his condition, led officers to escalate, drawing weapons and screaming profanities in front of children. What message does this send? Despite their efforts to de-escalate, the Martinez family was forcibly restrained and humiliated. Mr. Martinez was arrested under false unrelated charges. This was not law enforcement. This was targeted harassment. Let's call it what it is. This wasn't just over-policing. It was personal. It felt racial. It felt provoked. And it's part of a disturbing pattern that this family and this community has endured for too long. Is this the image that Gonzales wants to project? A city with a diverse population that allows unchecked abuse of power against its residents? Officers are sworn to protect and serve, not to intimidate and divide. Taxpayers should not be funding trauma. We demand accountability. We demand better training, oversight, and real consequences for misconduct. Because if this is what freedom looks like in Gonzales, then we've got work to do. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mike, so who's the next?
Pepper. Pepper. Yes. I can unmute her.
Sorry, did it unmute already?
Yes, you're
This is-
unmuted.
Okay, sorry. Hi, my name is Vanessa Marroquin. I as well would like to talk about what happened at my friend's Martinez party on July 4th. The fact that that was my first time with you guys going to Gonzales to celebrate a day of fun and excitement. Coming there and looking forward to a day of fun, and all of a sudden I see this kid coming in. He's telling this police officer he's autistic, to not touch him, and then it escalated. It got really bad, and not gonna lie, I kind of got scared as well. And then my friend Martinez and his whole family tried helping the police officer that was there, trying to give them, how do you say it? Well, they were just trying to help him. They were trying to make sure that the kid didn't go overboard. Nothing else happened. And then all of a sudden, they're arresting my friend Henry. And the fact that they're arresting him, they're arresting the kid, and it just escalated to a point where it's like, what else can happen? Like, this is not the first time this happened. This is the second time on the 4th of July. And it does feel pretty personal that these police officers are looking for anything that they're doing to arrest them and get them put away, which is, I feel like it's very unfair. And like all the others say, I feel like the police in Gonzales definitely need some more training and to kind of like ask themselves, like, is it okay to bring out guns and tasers in front of youngsters? And what's going to happen next? Like, is someone going to get hurt? Like, it's really unfair. That's all I have to say.
Alrighty, thank you. Did you get that name, Marisol? No, the previous one that you were asking about. Okay. All right. Is there anyone else, Marisol?
No comments via Zoom.
Mary, do we have any comments via email?
No comments via email.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and close the public comment period and bring it back to council. Next on the agenda is items 4 through 15, the consent agenda. If you've all had an opportunity to review those, anyone wishing to pull an item may do so at this point. So if not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Moves to approve. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All
Chair,
Mhm.
I just need to note that the resolution on item 14, requires a little bit of modification, just to clearly identify the exemption that we're using from having to go through the bidding process. So, go ahead and approve it tonight, but just, I will note that there's a reference to the fact that there is an exception from the bidding requirement in the staff report as well as the reso, but it needs to be articulated in a different way in the actual written form of the resolution.
Okay, so the way it's written as number 14 though, is not the correct way, correct?
No, but you can go ahead and, the overall intent of the resolution is fine and correct, but we're just using an exception to the normal bidding requirement.
Because of the urgency.
Yes, understood. Okay.
No, it's because it's available, I think, we're relying on Sourcewell for the purchase of the pumps, and we can do that, and we have an in lieu exception that allows us to do that. So we need to specifically call out the code section that has the in lieu exception and then make a finding specifically that we've met those, which we do. And it just didn't get done quite in time and so forth. So we will do that after the fact, but please feel free to go ahead and adopt. I just wanted to put that forward.
Okay.
Does the motion still carry in the second? Still good? All right. So I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda with proper modifications. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to item 16, and I believe this is Mr. Musho's report. So if you could read this item into the record, sir, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Item 16. Consider approval of resolution number 2025-54, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Gonzales dispensing with bidding procedures pursuant to Gonzales City Code Section 3.16.050 and authorizing the purchase of a Type 1 fire engine from Fire Apparatus Solutions for an amount not to exceed $750,000.
Staff report?
Thank you, sir. I have wanted to bring this to this council for a very long time, and I'm very happy to be here doing it. But I want to take 30 seconds because I'm really, really bad at this kind of stuff, and I want to recognize my two guys in the back. Stand up, guys. So you have Captain Efren Rizzo and firefighter Justin Miller. So Efren is not new to us. He's been with us for a few years, but he was recently promoted to captain on July 9th. Justin Miller is our newest firefighter, and he was hired on July 9th. So I just want to take a minute to point them out. Yeah, you want me lunched out? Okay.
Now getting to the good stuff.
Now getting to the good stuff. So tonight, staff is recommending that the city council consider and adopt resolution number 2025-54, as I stated earlier, basically authorizing the purchase of a new Type 1 fire engine. And we'll go into the background. I'm gonna skim through this a little bit. Yeah, the difficulties that we've had with our two current Type 1 engines are very well documented. Anytime you open your activity report from me each month, you know what's going on with our Type 1 engines. You know, one of them is 18 years old, one of them is 22 years old. If you'll recall, the last engine we purchased in 2021 was one that had been decommissioned by another department due to its age. And since that time of buying it, I've put almost as much into it in repairs as what we paid for the purchase price. So this has been a long time coming. Also, it's well documented my frustration, I was looking for the right word, with FEMA and Department of Homeland Security, as we have submitted applications for that grant every single year since 2014. without success. So, we continued to plug along until some new ideas came around. And with Carmen's help and Tavin's help, we were able to submit an application to the County of Monterey for the Community Development Block Grant Funds. And we were awarded $630,000 towards the purchase of the engine from the CDBG funding. I'm getting there. So with the 630,000 funding in hand, then came the task of finding a fire engine for that 630,000. 10 years ago, that would have been easy. 5 years ago, it probably wouldn't have been too hard. Today, it was tough. I did a lot of reaching out. I talked to a lot of people. Nobody out there could provide us an engine with the amount of funds that we had available. And on top of that, those that could provide an engine for a higher cost were projecting 18 to 24-month lead times. So that means we would have to keep the other two going for another 2 years at least in order to make that until we could get a new rig. And that just wasn't going to work. I learned of a vendor named Fire Apparatus Solutions. They build production fire equipment, not a lot of custom features, not a lot of custom touches, not a lot of stuff that we need. So I reached out to them. Their sales rep called me back within a couple of days. He says, yeah, we roll one off the assembly line every 3 months. We have one ready to go. As we sit here tonight, there's actually one of these engines ready to go in Georgia. They're actually just waiting for our okay, and they're going to slap our name on the door. So they have one ready for us over there. So talked it over with the guys in the department. We looked at the proposal. We looked at the apparatus specifications, and we said, great, this is what we need. This will work. This will do. It's not a Cadillac, but it's going to work, and that's exactly what we need. Great, let's do it. One problem: $750,000. We only had 630. So we went back out. The city manager requested the remaining funding be provided by Measure K, and that request was approved by the Measure K committee and by the city council on the meeting of June 16th. So we have all the funding in hand. One more piece of this, and I'm going to read through this because this is kind of the important part. So section 3.16.050 of City Code provides that all purchases of supplies and equipment shall be by competitive bid process unless an exception applies. In this instance, staff believes that 2 such bidding exceptions apply. First, section 3.16.050A2 provides an exception to the bidding requirements for the purchase of equipment and supplies when an emergency, defined in part as a breakdown in machinery or in an essential service which requires the immediate purchase of supplies or services to protect the public health, welfare, and safety arises. As previously noted, the lack of an operable Type 1 engine represents a serious and significant threat to the fire department's ability to provide services necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the city and the district residents and businesses. And as such, staff believes the condition of the fire department's current Type 1 engines qualifies as such an emergency. Second, the engine in question is the only available within the city's price range and need for expedited delivery from a single vendor, and thus falls within exception 3.16.050A3 when the equipment can be obtained only from one vendor. So there lies the 2 exceptions that we're asking the council to approve tonight to the bidding procedures so that we can make this purchase. As far as alternatives, I don't want to talk about the alternative. The alternative is, yes, we could probably still get something. It will take a long time and further compromise the safety, health, and welfare of the residents. So we are not recommending that. And as as it pertains to the budget, as we stated earlier, 630,000 in grant funding awarded from the CDBG program and the additional 120,000 in funds from Measure K. So in conclusion, staff recommends the city council consider and adopt resolution number 2025-54, a resolution of the city council of the city of Gonzales dispensing with bidding procedures pursuant to Gonzales City Code Section 3.16.050 and authorizing the purchase of a Type 1 fire engine from Fire Apparatus Solutions for an amount not to exceed $750,000. And I will take any questions.
Quite a ceremony for, okay. good.
Yes, ma'am.
Very impressive. But it's funny because they also, in the report, it also included the financing at 5 years, 7 years, 10. And I thought, well, I thought we were buying it outright. So that was kind of confusing, but
There was some options provided by the vendor for us to do, yeah. He was just throwing out some options. there.
got it. And then, so with a brand new, piece of equipment,
Mhm.
usually cars have what, 100,000-mile warranty. What kind of warranty are we gonna get?
It's in the proposal. I don't know what it is quite off the top of my head, but usually there's, it's usually like a 2 or 3 year limited warranty on parts and things like that. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Can we get a ride on it when it comes in? Just around the block?
There's a list.
Add me to
I'll
it,
move you to the top.
because I'm older, right? Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No.
No?
Good stuff. Thank you.
I'll go ahead and open this item up to the public for anyone from the public wishing to comment on this item. One.
Rosa Rodriguez, 307 Ayrshire Way, and I'm sorry I can't just hold it in. But I'm very grateful to the Gonzales Fire Department for assisting my sister Marisa Perez. You know, they were always out there for her. And she passed away, unfortunately, because of diabetes complications and everything else went downhill. But I am so happy that they're going to get this deserved, you know, I hope that you guys approve it. I know you guys are gonna approve it, you know, because they're practically our first line of defense, you know, for paramedic. You know, before the ambulance gets there, before the police department sometimes get there, you know, actually the police department are usually the ones that are there first, and the fire department, and then the ambulance. But you know, the time I had to call him because my husband had chest pains, the time I had to call him because I wasn't feeling good, the time I had to call him because you know, my mom wasn't feeling good, or the time my sister wasn't feeling good, and you know what, we're not young forever. We're getting old, and I'm sure one of us are gonna need, you know, their assistance, you know, one time or another. And I'm not saying I'll prove it because we're gonna need it, but you know, they're actually what holds us together, because unfortunately somebody died on the 4th of July, and I called 911 and they told me, no, you have to call the non-emergency number. And I said, no, somebody's gonna die, because I see I took the pictures, you know, the embers were falling right on the roofs. And I said, no, I go, this is 911 call. So they're out there educating our community. They're out there educating the kids. They're doing mental health awareness trainings, and they're out there with our seniors. And so they do a lot. So sorry, I didn't mean to get sentimental, but July 25th would have been my sister's birthday. And she's not going to be able to see her grandbaby. But I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and this is well deserved. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. All right, anyone else wishing to speak on this item? Nobody else? All right. Marisol, do we have any comments via Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Thank you. Mary, any comments via email?
No comments via email.
All right, then I'll bring it back to the council. I'll entertain either a motion for approval or further discussion, if so merited.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution number 2025-54 as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There's your truck. And I know you have to leave us, you got grandpa duty.
I hate to take your money and run, but thank you. Thank you very much.
Enjoy your time.
Enjoy the kids. All right, moving on. I believe the next item is item 17. AB 481. Who is reporting on that item?
I am, Mayor, that is the AB 481 annual public hearing, and we are actually just requesting that the council continue that item to the meeting of August 18th, 2025. There was a glitch in the public notice regarding that hearing. It was scheduled for this evening, but the notice wasn't done in adequate time. So in order to make sure that we have the adequate 30-day notice that's required by law, we had to reset the clock and
So we're
reset the hearing.
tabling this item then.
Actually, you're continuing the item, actually, if you wouldn't mind, to
Okay.
August 18th.
We'll continue there. Do I need to open this up for public comment?
No, you do
Okay.
not. But
All right.
You do need to take a vote.
All right.
Do we need a motion on that?
Pardon?
Do we need a motion as well?
Yes,
or-
yeah.
Okay, yeah, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we continue this item to August 18th.
Second,
Oh,
whoever, Maria.
I think it was Maria.
That's-
So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Let's see, if I remember correctly. Item 19, 18, excuse me, 18
Traffic calming.
is new traffic calming. And that, is that Mr.?
Mr. Dobbins.
Yes,
Yes.
Mayor Rios, council members, good evening. So the recommendation is that the city council receive a draft traffic calming policy and provide direction to staff. So let's see, this is a follow-up to your May 5th council meeting where I presented on traffic calming or the need to have a traffic calming policy. And in the staff report, it mentions our process right now, which I would say is fairly informal, and it'd be good to have a procedure in writing. How do these resident requests get processed? So we engaged a traffic consultant to compile what's attached to the staff report, draft calming policy, and it was the funding was provided by Blue Zones because Kendra Howell of Blue Zones was actually paying attention during the council meeting back on May 5th and said, hey, Blue Zones could cover the $11,000 cost to prepare this. So this basically, as mentioned, is a written procedure to formally evaluate and respond to resident requests. And the resident requests are related to speeding vehicles and other inappropriate driver behavior that is not acceptable on the residential and local streets in town. So the policy is, any resident that believes there's a speeding problem first goes to the police station or the police department. Is this an enforcement? Is that the approach, is enforcement? Because it falls into the 3 E's of traffic engineering, enforcement, engineering, and education. So the first step would be, police department, can you increase your patrols in this area and observe any inappropriate driver behavior? If this does not provide or seem to address the issue, then it can be elevated to a request for public works staff to determine what traffic calming measures should be considered. And I'll get into that in just a second. So they submit a traffic request form, and we actually have an example with Pete Torino on his Del Monte Drive, and you've heard from Pete a couple of times. He's certainly in the audience, is going to get up to speak to this. He did provide signatures of over 80% of the residents along this very short section of Del Monte Drive. I might be hopping a little bit further ahead, but the traffic calming measures in the draft policy are divided into, 6 different categories. They're listed in the staff report and of course get into detail in the draft policy. So it's signing and markings, which is kind of the first thing is, is there something we can do that's rather simple? And you heard my story, I believe, along Alta Street, how narrowing some travel lanes did decrease the 85th percentile speed. Then it continues that, is there intersection modifications? Do we narrow the road? Are there vertical roadway elements that we can do, which includes speed humps and things of that nature? And then, are there also physical segment modifications? So as mentioned, And I guess our current example is Pete Maturino providing or coming to staff several months ago, basically expressing concern about cars that are not observing basically the stop signs at each end of Del Monte and driving in excessive speed along Del Monte Drive. And we've looked at this, and he did it, get the signatures, as I mentioned, and in working with the traffic engineer, what we believe it would be appropriate to address those speeding cars is installation of speed cushions. And so you'll see these in possibly other towns where in the past years, it was a speed hump, which are very, rather difficult to install. They're fairly permanent, fairly expensive, and how long are they there? So the speed cushions is, basically a vertical element that's placed on the street, and it slows cars down quite a bit. We'd be looking at 2 different sets of these along this one long block of Del Monte Drive. What we have in engaging the traffic engineer and just looking at, so what would this cost is it's on the order of between, say, $6,000 to $8,000 or more for these 2 sets of speed cushions, because there's also signing and striping that goes in. City Public Works can install these speed cushions, but not the signs or stripes. So I guess I want to also mention, let's see, that we did receive a letter of comments from MST related to the draft traffic calming policy. We'll incorporate those comments into the next version of this. And then just to, I guess, really close is, we don't have a funding source identified for this work. All our road fund the road money funded by gas tax that comes from the state of California goes to, mainly and mostly to, public works, field personnel, salaries, and things of that nature. So we'd have to identify what would the funding source be. And let's see, I think that's concludes my presentation. Ready for questions.
Questions from council? Lorraine mentioned the letter, right? And you've mentioned in your report.
Right.
But I just had it, and it was running apart. Is there anybody from Townsend? Is there anything from Townsend we can get a funding source from? Is there, I don't know, I'm just
Well,
asking.
we can ask,
It's funny you mentioned that. I met with Todd Muck this morning, the executive director, and he said they had some RSTP funding.
yes, and we've thrown our hat in the ring for the surplus RSTP money that they have. And it's like, that's actually what I have asked for is related to the truck ban signs along Fifth Street. And I was going to mention under city manager comments that we're opening bids on Wednesday for that project, and we'll find out at that point in time, is there a shortfall between the $53,000 of RSTP money that we've secured for this, plus the $30,000 in Measure K. So that's on the order, of course, do the math, $83,000. Well, 2 years ago, installing the signs was $73,000 from the single bid that we got. So I have, filled out the survey that TAMC staff issued a couple of weeks ago related to, well, if we have surplus, they have surplus RSTP money. And I have, at least at this point in time, said, hey, the city of Gonzales, potentially may need an additional, and I went big, $25,000 related to the truck bans so that we could get that done this time.
Okay.
I don't know other funding sources for this.
I'm still so confused on the school stuff. Like, there's $250,000. Why can't we use some of that money? I know it's
That's
not
different.
allocated that way, but just trying to figure out different ways to come up with money.
This I think also goes somewhat hand in hand with the TAMC effort around Vision Zero,
Right.
and educating and what can we do. So it does go hand in hand with the Vision Zero effort.
I have a
Oops.
question. So the initial funding from Blue Zones is not any part of putting up the barriers. Is that correct?
That is correct.
It's just for doing the study? Is that what it's for?
Preparing the policy, that's correct.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All righty, I'm gonna go ahead and open.
Yeah, I just have a quick question.
Sorry, Maria.
If I can ask Pete, what were some of the comments or concerns from the residents when you circulated the petition? I just like to, we don't have a copy of the petition, so I'm just curious if their concerns were very similar in terms of speeding and cars just going by and not stopping at the stop sign, because that's a lot of.
Actually, they were thanking me for doing something about this, the things that were happening and the speed of the cars and all that. And they pretty much, each house that I went to said the same thing. I mean, it only took me about 3 hours to pick everything up. So, they were pretty thankful that we were gonna do something. I said, well, I gotta present it first and see what the city council wants to do.
Great, thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up to the public. If anyone from the public wishing to make comments on this item may do so at this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Signing, who's gonna go?
Okay.
Again, Rosa Rodriguez, 307 Ayrshire Way. And I sent this text to Mr. Patrick O'Donnell back in, this was in June 26th. And normally what I do when I go to Salinas, they have a telephone number where you call and they automatically write down the service request. That say, for example, I say, I found a pothole and I think it's, dangerous for the community. Can you put a service request to fill it up? And they'll go ahead and turn it in, and then they'll send me a text message and they'll say, your service request was already submitted, and then boom, it's covered up. Or I'll say, I almost ran over somebody because it was dark and they just ran in front of me, and I put a service request, and thank God, I'm sure a lot of other people petitioned. They put traffic lights on North Main. So I'm one of those people that see a problem, but I also offer a solution. And they have a really good system where you call, they put in the service request, they get the maintenance out there. And, of course, Salinas is a lot bigger, what Ms. Gillis always tells me, and, they have more funding for that. But yes, I also requested cushions for Longhorn Drive, and I sent them what the cushions look like. And this is from the City of Salinas Neighborhood Traffic Management Program Report. It was prepared for the City of Salinas by Fur and Pierce back in 2008. And they have copies of the actual cushions, and I'm sure they're more costly now. And then in addition to that, they have the cushions out on Eelwood Street, in Marial Street by Laurel. And because I wanted to see if I could get quicker to Target instead of going through North Main. And yeah, they have those, cushions there, and they work beautifully because they don't mess up the bottom of my low van. And they still refrain the traffic from going through. And so, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello, so my concern, I love the form. I actually almost accidentally filled one out, but you guys had to vote on it, so. But my concern is accessibility. I'm glad I let her go first, because notice how she's like a proactive citizen, but she called. She didn't fill out a form. And my concern is that the form is going to be like the other forms in Gonzalez website, where it's not pre-fillable and it's like scanned and it's weird. So Clerk, submit this for the record. I accidentally submitted a video and can't submit videos. But I've demonstrated how you could turn a PDF into a pre-fillable form. I don't have to do it, just like any office worker could do it. And then you could actually like make a box if you have the right software to submit an image on that form. And the reason why I say that is because it's more accessible via mobile, and it's more accessible for, community members. And then you're going to get like a bigger data set that way. Because just the current way I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. And then that could be done, right? It's easy. It's kind of like if someone says like, I can't do it, it's kind of like, It's kind of like a landscaper saying they can't edge the lawn. It's like, what do you mean you can't edge the lawn? I'm pretty sure you can. What are you talking about? So, you know, if it's support the staff, if they need the software, but a good Adobe would work. But that's my concern, just accessibility. Love the idea. I was gonna fill out one. I had pictures and everything. So can't wait to see the outcome of it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. All righty. One more. Awesome.
Yeah, Roman Barba. Yeah, I know our traffic problems, we have major traffic problems here. There's a lot of speeding, especially on Alta. Where you actually see cars pass you on turning lanes. So you see that all the time, especially coming from the cemetery or the other side from Corridor Road all the way down. It's a major problem. 10th Street's a major problem. Also, I want to talk about Belden Street because Belden Street is a gravel street. It's not pavement anymore. So the problem there is that I have my mother-in-law lives in a 2-story house there, right? And it's all gravel there. So the problem is you see the cars racing down that street and they're throwing the rocks. The rocks are actually hitting cars that are parked on the side of are parked in front of their houses there. So if you go look at these cars, you'll see dents on them because that street's so bad. So because of and then the cars racing down that street. So I was thinking that should be a 4-way stop there now, because if you're not gonna fix that street, at least put a stop sign there to slow the cars down there, especially because that street is gravel. I would recommend that. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? See no one else rushing the podium? All right, then I'll ask Marisol. Marisol, do we have anybody via Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Mary, any comments via email?
No comments via email.
All right, we'll close the public hearing part of this and bring it back to council discussion. Anybody else here has any comments or questions?
Through
for-
the chair, if I may add, Mr. Dobbins shared the price tag on this, and we don't have funding. However, we've been talking about where we could potentially look for. So to your point, Councilmember Worthy will look for grants that can help support this cost. In those areas where there are assessment districts, this may be an area that could be added to the road work there. But I just want to caution us that in those areas where there are no assessment districts and no funding sources, we have to figure out where this money would come from. So we can do one, but I know that others will follow and we will not be able to respond to all those other ones. So just something to be aware of, given our current budget situation. And there are not a lot of grants that are specific to this other than potentially some of TAMC surplus funds or SB1 potentially in the future, things like that, that may be available to us, but just something to keep in mind because there's a lot of roads in Gonzales that need attention desperately. But just want to make sure that the trickle effect is we're well aware of it because everybody will start coming. So we just need to be aware of how do we kind of manage that in the future.
Any additional comments from council? No. Okay. I would like to thank Mr. Maturino for bringing this to our attention as a whole, as the city as a whole. And thank you to Mr. Dobbins for reaching out to Blue Zones and being able to find that funding so that we can do the study. We have basically an itinerary of how we can calm those speeding cars or rolling stop signs. So now we have at least a process. The hardest part is going to be where the money comes from, and I get it. I totally get it. All right, so this is, I guess we need a motion to accept the report.
So moved.
Just provide direction.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Just provide.
Just provide direction, any feedback, and I think you've done it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we need no,
No.
nope, no action needed, correct, Michael? Okay. Moving on to the assessment districts. Michael, I have a question, and it seems kind of silly that as we go through this, members of the council have to step off when it's discussed part of their area. I understood that was why when it was citywide, but since it's district elections now, personally, I'd rather have Mr. Funk here to discuss his assessment district if he so chooses to. whatever he says or does makes, I mean, the assessment districts are basically saying, we've collected this much, we've spent this much, and this is where we're moving next. I don't really see how his comments or Mrs. Orozco's comments would demise or hurt the vote of whatever it is that we're gonna decide on. And it seems just to me a waste of time for, Mr. Funk, please step out of the room. Ms. Orozco, can't we just all sit here and just get this done and move along?
I wish the answer was yes, but I wish the answer was yes, but the answer is no.
Okay.
If you live within that district, you are affected in a different way by the assessment. And by that, I'm talking about the assessment district. You're affected in a different way by the assessment in that district than the whole rest of the city, and so you do have a conflict. Interestingly enough, though, you do bring up a good point. Scott is our only council member who is elected by district now, and so when we're looking at the test for whether or not he has a conflict, instead of looking at the whole city, we look at his district, and so he is no longer conflicted from participating in the California Breeze Assessment District. So, so that's one less round of somebody had got to leave the room, somebody's got to come back, and so forth. So, so in other words, yeah, I'm afraid we still have to go through the dance of having people leave the room when we're discussing the specifics for the assessment districts in which they either live in or live within 500 feet. But in this particular case, the industrial assessment districts have no one with a conflict. California Breeze no longer have anybody with a conflict. So we're only looking at Canyon Creek and Cipriani where we got to do the dance.
Okay. All right, well, let's begin the dance.
All right,
And
so
who's reporting out on this?
I will do the report. So
Would you please read that into the records?
It's that time of the year again when we are doing our assessments for the various assessment districts that have been formed. You recall on June 2nd of 2025, the council approved resolutions that gave preliminary approval to the engineer's reports that were put before you, and also set July 21st, 2025 as the date of the public hearing for all of the assessment districts. Notice of the public hearing was published in accordance with the legal requirements. Once the resolutions are approved, if they're approved, I haven't actually ever been around when they were not approved, but in any event, once they are approved, they will provide final approval of the engineer's report itself, authorize the levy and collection of the assessments referenced in the report, and order the maintenance, operating, and or service of the improvements identified in each one of the engineer's reports. As has been the case for quite a while now, Harris is recommending that the city adjust the maximum assessments, and the maximum assessments are not necessarily the assessments that are imposed, but just the maximum amount that we can impose in each one of the districts. They're asking that that be adjusted by the CPI. In this particular case, the CPI is very low. It's only 1.27, but there has been a recommendation, and the assessments that are shown in the reports have been modified, the maximum assessments by that amount. With respect to the actual assessments, there is no proposed change to the assessments from last year for any of the California Breeze or Canyon Creek assessment districts. In the Cipriani Benefit Assessment District, there's a decrease in the assessments from $750 to $678 for lots 8 through 66 and 70 through 75. In the industrial park districts, both the parks and the benefited district have increases. In the benefit or the parks and landscape, it's from $440 to $575 per acre, while in the benefit assessment district, it's $1,305 to $1,500 per acre. Just worth noting that the industrial districts are impacted by an upcoming sidewalk repair project, which explains why the increase in the assessment. So we now need to move forward with consideration and action on the 8 resolutions, and they should only be taken after the public hearing for each district or group of districts. And in the past, that's what we've done. We take them as groups of 2. So we have 4 different sets of assessment districts, and we take them 2 at a time. Once resolutions have been approved, staff's been directed to forward the documents to the county. We do send them to the assessor's office, and they have to be sent by no later than, I always say August 1st as just sort of the stopgap, but I think it's a little bit later, but it's always a good idea to give yourself a little wiggle room. We should make that without any problems. We don't have any hiccups this season. So with that being said, we can go ahead and start the dance for consideration and approval of the assessment districts. I suggest that we go ahead and start with the California Breeze.
California Breeze. All right. I can go ahead and open it to the public for public comment, correct?
No, we'll do that for each one of these. We have to have a public hearing for each grouping of hearings.
Okay, so staff report on California Breeze.
That was the report for in general, so
Okay.
now there's not gonna be a separate report, but we do have to have a public hearing for the resolution number 2025-55 and resolution 2025-56 for California Breeze. Those are respectively the benefit assessment resolution and the parks and landscaping resolution. So we need to have the open public hearing, take any comment, close the public hearing, and then you can go ahead and take the vote on those two resolutions.
All right. Then I'll go ahead and open this up to the public for anyone wishing to comment on this item on the agenda may do so at this time. Again, you're limited to 2 minutes. Seeing no one rush, then I'll go ahead and ask Marisol, do we have anyone via Zoom wishing to comment via Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Mary, comments via email.
No comments via email.
Okay, I'll go ahead and close the public meeting at this point and bring it back for council discussion. So, Mr. Funky, is there anything you'd like to comment on, or no?
No.
No, okay. Then I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Move to approve, 2025-55. Do we do both of them, Michael?
Yes.
And 2025-56.
And second.
A second. Motion was second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right.
Mayor, if we can now then have you open the public hearing for resolution number 2025-59 and 2025-60. Those are the resolutions for the benefit assessment and the landscaping for the industrial.
The industrial park?
No, we're skipping because of the fact that we don't have any conflicts, so we're gonna take that one, so nobody has to step
Yeah.
up.
So we're trying to move things a little quicker as long as we can.
Yeah.
All right, so the industrial park now, the comment period is now open for the industrial park assessment district. Anyone wishing to comment on this item may do so at this time.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Damn, inflation hit my talking time. I don't own any property, so I have like kind of like no skin or right to talk in this game, right? This is for like property owners valuing their parks and stuff like that, but I do have comments. I feel like the word landscaping is used loosely. The one in Central Park, I feel like they just landscape, so they're just cutting grass and maintaining it. Like landscaping, when you tell me landscaping, you mean,
The Central Park is not part of this.
oh, it's not?
No, Central
Industrial?
Park is not part of it. We're talking about the industrial park on the across the railroad tracks, which is all the industrial businesses out there.
Did I miss a resolution for the other one?
The other one was,
Assessment that encompasses, no benefit assessment district that encompasses Central Park.
I stand corrected. All right, thank you for your time.
correct. What else? Okay, Marisol, do we have anyone via Zoom?
No comments via Zoom.
Okay. Mary, via email?
No comments via email.
Okay, we'll bring it back for council, motion for approval.
Move to approve, 2025-59 and 2025-60.
Second.
I'll take this time.
That's okay.
So I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Now we start the dance.
Now let's do the Canyon Creek. So for that, we need Councilmember Orozco and Councilmember Worthy to answer the guy.
Sorry.
Even though I'm not Shane.
She's not a thing.
Yeah, I don't live in Canyon Creek, but I'm 500,
Within 500.
500 yards.
Yeah.
So.
So
Let's get
I
different
checked
you
last
process
year's
it.
dance. This is.
Yeah.
Throw a rock and hit it. Above 300.
Is this where we get to discuss doubling it now while they're gone?
It's not gonna affect, you know? Just like it's not gonna affect Lorraine.
Yeah.
Okay, Mayor, if we can go ahead then and open the public hearing for resolution number 2025-57, which is the benefit assessment district for Canyon Creek, and as well as resolution number 2025 58, which is the resolution for the landscaping and lighting district for.
Alrighty, so having heard that, the audience is welcome to speak. We have, again, limited to 2 minutes on this subject, and it's for Canyon Creek Estates.
We have one.
One.
Roman Barba, question, is that for the sidewalks too on Fano Road? I'm not too sure if it's Canyon Creek, because I know the,
Well, part of Canyon Creek is on Fano Road, so I don't know, Michael.
yeah, because if you're, the sidewalks have to be done over there, right? We all know that, right? They're all bad. But he also, I think the trees need to be looked at too, because they're the ones raising the sidewalks. So, but that was my question on that. Because I know we have one rental in that area, so, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes.
The trees and sidewalks where most of the issues are posed are not in
The
that
assessment.
assessment district.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts right at Burgundy, basically.
Right, so as far as I can remember, the last time we walked over in that area, I didn't see that. Where I did see raised sidewalks issues was over in Meyer Park, so.
Yeah, we have a lot of issues on Fano, but they're outside of the assessment district.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Just before you get there, it's the Royals, what is it called? Sunrise Ranch and the Royal Estates.
Yeah.
All right, so, any comments via Zoom, Marisol?
No comments via Zoom.
Mary, comments via email?
No comments via email.
Okay, we'll bring it back to council. So do we have a motion on that?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolutions number 2025-57 and 2025-58 as presented.
And second, yes.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, and you're up.
Oh,
'Cause I have to step up. I'll call the ladies in.
all right, tag, you're it.
It's a game we play. Hey, I should play on you.
You didn't take a stick, did you?
All right, yes. Sabrina, we go.
Do the do-si-do with hands. Okay, welcome back.
So, Mayor Pro Tem, if we can go ahead then and open the public hearing for resolution 2025-61 and 2025-62, and those are respectively for the benefit assessment district and the parks and open space maintenance assessment district for Cipriani Estates.
Thank you, Michael. I will go ahead and open up the public hearing. As mentioned, for consideration of approval for resolution number 2025-61 and 2025-62 with regards to Cipriani Estates. Anybody? I will close public hearing, bring it back to council for consideration.
Mayor Pro Tem, we want to ask for Zoom and,
Thank you, Scott.
yes, indeed.
Take it out to Zoom,
No comments via Zoom.
take it over to email.
No comments via email.
Okay, yeah, I'll bring it back to the council for consideration.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Make the motion that we adopt resolution number 2025-61 and resolution number 2025-62.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded to approve these two resolutions. All in favor, say aye. 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 Opposed? Carried. We can bring the mayor back in. He can hear us. We forgot to put him in the soundproof booth.
Thank goodness for the rails at the post office. That's how I get up to the post office and not fall. All righty. All mine, lucky me. So we're moving on to committee reports, and first up is League of Cities, and I have nothing to report. Next on that would be AMBAG. Mr. Funk,
We'll keep a roll. Nothing to report. We were darkened in July. Next meeting is August 13th.
okay. And finally, MSC.
MST, strategic planning. We are in the process currently of strategic planning. Our first hour of the meeting last week was the first part of our strategic planning. We will finish up next month. Unfortunately, I will not be able to attend the MST meeting next month. And I've been advised not to send an alternate because the alternate would be confused anyway. So we're not, yeah, because it's pretty confusing already. A few things, there will be cuts to transportation. I think some of you probably have already heard that on the federal level. At this point, we're not quite sure how much. We are now at 85% ridership, and that is pre-COVID. So that's exciting news. Our ridership is up, so that's a positive outcome. The two most positive things that have happened this year is the SURF project and the Better Bus Network. And the Better Bus Network is especially interesting for South County because number 23, which is the bus that we use for South County, is very active bus. And we are finding that 31, which is the small bus that circulates throughout the community, is being utilized. We do have some data on that, which I'd be happy to share with everybody as we move forward. One of the questions that I asked was, you're not going to take away that circulator bus if we don't use it very much. And they said, no, we're going to keep it. So that's good news for us. One of the big challenges that we see coming up in the next few years is the fact that we don't have the low emission buses are something that California is requiring us to do by 2030. Because of the changes with the budgets, we're not sure we can get there in time. Again, this is a California issue, so the cost of these low emission buses is extremely expensive. So that's something we're looking at right now. What's working, ridership, up and down. One of the big questions that I keep posing is, how do we get people to ride public transportation? How do we encourage people to ride public transportation? Especially in the state of California, we're so dependent on our vehicles. Most people that are in this room are dependent on their vehicles, but some people do not have the luxury of owning their own vehicles. And so consequently, they ride public transportation. We have people with disabilities that ride. We have students that ride, veterans, senior citizens. And what we need to do is we need to be better at trying to encourage people to ride this. So that's one of the issues that we're really going to be working on in the next year to try to figure out. I think, I don't know if you guys remember it, but I do, Ride the Bus with Us, which was a huge marketing program that they did years ago. I mean, I could still sing the song, ride the bus with us, ride the bus, that was a big marketing thing. And I told them, I said, those are the kinds of things that people listen to and hear. And also now with all the social media stuff, we can really get on that more. So they're really going to start working on doing some more marketing. Also, the last thing that I wanted to share with everyone is that we did have a ribbon cutting ceremony for the SURF project at the end of June. And I know we haven't had a meeting since then. It was a really great day. Everybody came out there. All the legislators were there. We had people from the state. We even had Jimmy Panetta speak. He was in Washington, D.C., so he couldn't join, but it was a great day, and I was glad that I could share it. And that project is going to help quite a bit, hopefully, with our South County residents trying to get over to Monterey for jobs. So our next meeting again will be next month, August, I believe, the 11th, which is the day I leave for vacation. So that's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. And by the way, I've spoken to several young people, actually all the way from Greenfield, that are actually using MST as a way to get to MPC. And they have Hartnell up and down the valley, but for whatever, the specific subject matter that they want is only taught at MPC. So they're using the bus to get to MPC. So it is being utilized. Yeah. All right, oral communications. Ms. Orozco, would you mind starting this time?
Yes, thank you. I would like to take the time to, the moment to thank everybody who came out to our Rotary 4th of July festivities in the park. We had great food. Thank you to all our barbecue rib cooks who did an excellent job. The groups who had other items to sell, some of our nonprofit groups, they all did very well. And our kids really did an outstanding job in helping us set up and tear down the event. Our football players, our soccer teams helped in the kids area. So just everyone who really was there to help and support our efforts. I also would like to announce that Rotary is also doing our annual golf tournament. So if anybody wishes to donate for our silent auction, we would greatly appreciate that. All the proceeds from the tournament and the 4th of July festivities go towards scholarships for our students. So just thank you again. And I also would like to say that we are still, we still are challenged by finding housing for our family who is homeless. And it's very sad because they just have not been able to find housing for their it's a large family, and I realize that, and that can be challenging at times. But if anybody out there has an apartment or a house that they can rent to this family, please let me know. They are currently still looking for housing, and it's just really sad to not be able to help them find a place. But anyway, that's all I have.
Thank you. Mr. Funk.
Yeah, just actually piggyback off the 4th of July. 4th of July was a very, very well attended event, and I just want to put a thank you out to our police department, and fire department, and public works, and city staff. It was a very well organized, and obviously the Rotary Club and other volunteers involved. It was seemed like everything went very well. So everything from the run in the morning to all the way through, yeah, barbecue and festivities and all kinds of fun stuff, and lots of great music. So.
Amen on the music. Amen. Ms. Funk, excuse me, Ms. Ms. Silva, I apologize.
It's okay. Different list.
I know.
I'm the original.
You're the original.
That's right.
Just saying.
Mhm.
Maria, real quick, what's the date of the golf tournament?
August the 9th.
Thank you. I'll note that. Also want to remind everybody that St. Theodore's is having their annual reverse draw this Friday, and there are tickets still available. So if you're interested and haven't purchased your ticket yet, please see Maria or me. And it was a wrap. The 115th California Rodeo Salinas is in the history books. And yes, I came out of retirement and went and enjoyed myself for 3 days of the event, including closing day. It's always great to go see a lot of friends that I've met over the last 40 years as a volunteer there. People from out of state. We had a special visit from Ed Montana, who was one of the entertainers there for the last 45 years. And he came and serenaded my group yesterday morning, and the girls, their jaws were, they were in awe because he was serenading us. So a special thanks to Ed for coming by and saying hello, saying howdy. That's rodeo talk. Reminding everybody that the 3rd Sunday in August is a pretty popular day here in the Valley. It is the annual Swiss picnic on August 17th up at the Rifle Club. It's open to the public. It's a great meal. It's a great time to see, again, to see old friends come back home and make new friends. And last but not least, Monterey County Fair. Yeah, it's just about 5 weeks away. It'll start on August 27th. And the auction, the junior livestock auction, will be Saturday, August 30th, begins about 9 o'clock in the morning. I hope to see some of your faces out there enjoying some of the festivities at the fair. And that's all I have. Oh, wait a minute, one more thing. Oh, wait, there's more. I noticed, and I'm so happy, that the water tower has been repainted. I was so surprised. I thought they were just maybe fixing the antennas, and then, oh my gosh, they put a fresh coat of paint. So. Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, it looks great. It looks nice and shiny, just as it should. Thank you. That's all.
You, Ms. Worthy.
The man upstairs will be happy that his golf ball will be ready to work. Yeah, he is. He's ready for the turn.
Volleyball.
I just wanted to say thank you to Blue Zones and to our city for providing the water aerobics class that we do every night, 4 days a week, and Blue Zones for providing all these wonderful programs for our seniors, the yoga, the art programs, the cooking classes, all that sort of thing. I mean, this is fantastic for our seniors. I don't get to hit all of them, but it's exciting. And we have a resident in particular who I want to give a shout out to, and that's Lucy Stewart, who is just out there constantly promoting everything that we do in the city. And she calls City Hall and says, what's happening next and all of that. And I just want everyone to appreciate her as someone in our community who really cares a lot about what's going on, really wants to help. As we have some people who work with the kids and our kids with some challenges. We also have people that work with our seniors, and that's what makes Gonzales such a great place. So I have a friend here who was in the back for a little bit. She's visiting from Hawaii, and she just said, your town is so cute. Everything's so cute, and everybody's so nice, and you guys look like you work together. And I just want to remind everybody that we are a family here, even if we have our conflicts and our challenges. We still love each other and care about each other. And I am going to be a new grandmother, so I just wanted to shout that out too. My youngest son, Reed, is going to have a baby, so that's exciting. So that's all I have, and thank you, sir. And that's it for the.
You're very welcome. I just had a couple of things. First and foremost, I don't drive, so the only reason I know it's there is that when I'm driven through that area, it's like, if you go down Fifth Street, just before you hit Elko, guarantee it, and I believe that's from the city, the work that they did, I believe was for a drain line that's there. Could we add a little more filler there or something? Because man, that bump is getting heavier and heavier every time we go through there. I even told my wife, let's just go through Alta, I don't want the tires to go out of alignment, but because that is a pretty heavy bump. Just before you hit Elko, going down Fifth Street, just before you hit it, literally your car goes dip, and then you move up to the stop sign. So if we could add a little bit of more asphalt on there, I'm sure a lot of people's wheel alignments would be greatly appreciative of that.
Will do.
Also wanted to thank staff for getting all the markings just before school starts. I think that is imperative that those crosswalks that we've done is to make them so bright that even I can see them. So, I mean, that should tell you something. I think it's great that we, again, put our children before anything else and that we go above and beyond to make sure that those kids get to where they need to get to safely. Again, thanks to staff. And finally, I think Liz wanted to ask for a moment of silence. Would you?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
This,
As many,
it's a closed session.
as many of you know, Mr. Tom Fano passed away unexpectedly, probably about a month and a half ago. So I asked the mayor, out of respect for him and working with Pembroke on the new development, if we could just close our meeting tonight in memory of Mr. Tom Fano, who was a native son of Gonzales. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on, we're going to have a closed session. Michael, would you please lead us?
Actually, Mr. Mayor, we have business from the city manager.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Funk. I've been on a rush to get us out of here
Yes, indeed.
because
You guys covered
Everybody's
mostly
been talking-
everything, so
So,
the only
all right.
thing I was gonna share, I'll just say it now since you called it back up, but I just want to make sure that everybody got my email and keep praying to the tree gods because the Alta trees are coming back to life. I didn't believe it when I first saw it, but they've got new leaves on them, which is kind of a miracle, right? We were about to cut them down, and so anyway. So thank you to Public Works for doing whatever they're doing to help revive them. Movie night at the
The water.
pool this Friday, be there. They had a great turnout the last one. The Sandlot is playing and everybody loves that movie. So start time is 8 o'clock. And then I was actually gonna say, make sure our senior citizens take advantage of those classes that are being offered by Blue Zones and the Alliance on Aging, because they do, and we are hearing more and more positive comments about them because people are attending them, but we gotta make sure that they are being taken advantage of so that they continue to feel like they need to have programming for us, right? So, and then finally, the only other thing I have is we are actually having a team for Relay for Life this year again. After a long hiatus, the city has now established a team. So we are raising funds for cancer research, and you'll see purple around the city. So if you'd like to be part of our team, get more information on our social media pages. And then the only other thing in National Night Out, real quick.
Yeah, National Night Out is gonna be on August fifth, thank you. On Fourth Street for the police department, like last year. The times are 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So we invite the community to come out and interact with the police department and have some fun, have some food.
I'm gonna write that down this time, and anybody comes to complain about the city, say, sorry, I've already got a pre-planned event. See ya. Yeah. All righty, Michael, we have a closed session, so would you please read that for us into the record? Thank you, Rosa. All right, so we can clear the room, then we'll move on to that.